Katie Thurston shares things not to say to her about cancer. June 18, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation news fans. Katie Thurston has shared things she does not want people to say about her cancer. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. However, it spread. She has been going through treatments and trying to stay positive. Fans have rallied behind her during this journey and have been hoping for her full recovery. However, there are some things that people say she does not like. There is a lot to unfold and uncover. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Katie Thurston gets diagnosed with breast cancer. Katie Thurston is a part of Bachelor Nation. However, she did not find love when she was on the franchise. Since being on the show, she has started doing comedy. Fans loved getting to see her and hear her jokes. However, this also led to her finding an undeniable connection. Katie was diagnosed with breast cancer a while ago. They upped her diagnosis to stage 4 when they discovered it had spread to her liver. This was awful news that no one wanted her to hear. However, she has been taking it well and has been staying as strong as possible. She and Jeff Arcuri tied the knot amid diagnosis. Katie Thurston found love with a fellow comedian. She started dating Jeff Arcuri. The two seemed to be happy and in love. However, once Katie was diagnosed with cancer, he wanted to show her that he meant he was there for the long run. So the two tied the knot in a backyard wedding. It may not have been everything she had ever dreamed of in a wedding. However, she has the man of her dreams by her side, and that is all that matters. Fans were happy for the two and are wishing them a lifelong of happiness married. They seem to be better than ever since her diagnosis. Bachelor Nation alum shares things not to say to her about cancer. Katie Thurston has revealed some things she hates being told about her cancer. She would prefer people do not say this to her or anyone with cancer because she knows how it feels. Share with me things not to say to a cancer patient. For me, I don't want to hear, but you don't look sick, or my XX died from cancer. Also, somehow, everything is going to be oak, I don't like. It feels like being brushed aside with some default response. Fans were glad that she brought awareness to things she does not like to hear. Otherwise, people would not have known these were touchy things to say. Katie has been staying positive throughout this tough time. Fans have been trying to be there for her. However, there is only so much you can do through a screen. Regardless, Katie has been trying to live her best life and trying not to stay down in the dumps all of the time. It seems as though Katie does not like it when people tell her everything is going to be okay. This would be the most common thing people would say. However, she just really does not like it. Fans are glad that she let people know what not to say, as it helps them know for people who may be going through the same thing in their lives. Katie has been strong and resilient throughout this hard journey. Fans are hoping for her treatments to be successful. What do you think about this? Do you see why she does not like those things said? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. Shares things not to say to her about cancer and why she's done staying quiet. The unexpected diagnosis. Katie Thurston was no stranger to public attention. After her time as a beloved bachelorette, she built a loyal following who admired her unfiltered approach to life. But no one, especially not Katie, expected her next life chapter to involve a fight far more personal than any televised romance could have prepared her for. It started as an odd discomfort, a fatigue that clung longer than it should, followed by symptoms she could no longer brush off. Tests turned into more tests, and finally, a diagnosis, stage 1 cancer. Early, treatable, but still terrifying. The word alone held a weight heavier than anything she'd carried before. For the first few weeks, Katie kept quiet. Public Katie and private Katie became two different people. Her smile on Instagram masked her hospital visits. Her witty TikToks concealed sleepless nights. But silence was never her strength. And when the DMs started flooding in, well-meaning but off-key messages from fans, acquaintances, and strangers alike, Katie knew it was time to speak up. She wasn't just going to fight cancer. She was going to educate the world on how to speak to someone who was. "You're so strong." The first phrase that began to grate on her nerves came from a place of admiration. "You're so strong." Someone would message under a photo of her with an IV in her arm, giving a thumbs up. Katie would stare at her phone and sigh. "It's not strength," she said one evening on her Instagram story. "It's survival. I didn't choose this. I didn't wake up and say, you know, it would be empowering today, a cancer diagnosis." In a vulnerable moment, Katie recorded a long-form video called "Things Not to Say to Someone with Cancer." It started lightheartedly, her humor never left her, but gradually shifted into something deeper, rawer. "Please stop calling me strong when I'm just getting out of bed crying because my hair is on my pillow," she said, eyes glassy. There's a strength in honesty, and sometimes that honesty is saying, "This sucks. At least it's not worse." Another day, another comment. Katie posted a picture of her in a scarf, her eyebrows and lashes sparse, but her attitude still bright. A follower commented, "At least it's not terminal." She blinked at the screen. "At least it's not worse" was the next chapter in her video series. She stood in a cozy hoodie and looked straight at the camera. "Do you tell someone in a car accident, 'Well, at least you didn't die'? No, so why say that to someone who's sick?" She explained that comparative suffering, ranking pain to justify dismissing it, was not only unhelpful, it was harmful. People needed space to grieve their own journey without having it minimized. "I get that people are trying to help," she admitted, "but sometimes the best help is listening without trying to fix it." Have you tried? Of all the messages Katie received, none frustrated her more than unsolicited advice. "Have you tried turmeric? You should go vegan. My cousin did acupuncture and her tumor disappeared. It was exhausting." "I love natural remedies," she said in a reel, sipping herbal tea with a smirk, "but cancer isn't a Pinterest project. It's not a life hack." She detailed how bombarded she was with DMs and emails. Strangers suggesting experimental diets or miracle cures, some implying she'd chosen the wrong path by doing chemotherapy. Her voice lowered. "Let me be clear, I'm doing what my doctors recommend, not your cousin's blog. Let's not guilt people into thinking they're failing their cancer journey just because they didn't drink celery juice every morning." The silver lining fallacy. People kept trying to comfort her by saying things like, "Well, at least you'll inspire people now," or "Maybe this is your purpose." Katie felt her heart sink every time. "I didn't need cancer to be inspiring," she snapped in one viral video. "I was already enough." She called out toxic positivity, explaining how phrases like "everything happens for a reason" often made her feel like she had to be grateful for her illness. "I'm not here to romanticize pain," she said. "Some things are just bad, and it's okay to say that." She paused. "I will find beauty in this journey, but don't force me to see it before I'm ready." Friends fading, others shining. Katie started to notice how people in her life reacted differently to her diagnosis. Some friends texted less, others disappeared altogether. And then, some acquaintances became lifelines, checking in, sending care packages, and just sitting in silence with her. "I think cancer is a filter," she told her followers. "It shows you who's real." She shared tearful messages about friends who ghosted her when she needed them most, and heartfelt appreciation for those who asked, "What do you need today?" instead of offering empty cliches. Sometimes the best thing someone can say is, "I don't know what to say, but I'm here." That's it. That's everything. Humor is not a cure, but it helps. One thing that never left Katie was her sense of humor. Even in chemo chairs, she cracked jokes with nurses. She posted TikToks dancing with her IV pole. "If you can't laugh, you cry," she said. But even her humor became a lightning rod for unsolicited opinions. "Why are you joking about cancer?" one follower messaged. She answered in a tweet that got thousands of likes, because I have cancer, I'm allowed to cope however I want." In a candid vlog, Katie reminded viewers that humor wasn't a sign of denial. It was a survival mechanism. And if anyone had a problem with that, well, maybe they needed a laugh more than she did. Redefining strength. Katie began to reframe the narrative around cancer, what strength looked like, what support meant, and how society needed to do better. She used her platform not just to call out what not to say, but to elevate what to say instead. "I'm here for you, always. Would you like company or space today? Is there anything that would help you feel better right now? You're allowed to feel however you feel." She hosted a live with a therapist and a cancer survivor, opening space for others to speak out. The comment section flooded with thousands of stories, and Katie read every one. "You've helped me feel less alone," she said, "and I hope I've done the same for you. Goodbye hair, hello healing." The day Katie shaved her head, she did it live. No filters, no glam, just a mirror, a buzz cutter, and her best friend by her side. "This isn't weakness," she said as her brown strands fell. "This is power. I'm not losing my hair. I'm shedding what doesn't serve me anymore." The comments were a mix of support and, well, the usual. "You were prettier before. Why'd you do it live?" Katie replied in a video titled, "Dear Trolls, I'm not here to make you comfortable." She'd had enough of managing other people's feelings about her experience. Done apologizing. By month 6 of treatment, Katie had reached a new place, not of peace, but of truth. She stopped replying to every DM. She stopped smiling through pain, just to keep followers happy. She gave herself permission to log off, to be angry, to be selfish, to be still. "I used to worry I was being dramatic," she said in her final cancer awareness video. "But now, I'm done apologizing. My body is going through hell, and I don't owe anyone grace while I walk through fire." She paused, her voice low. "If you love someone going through cancer, love them loudly. And if you're going through it yourself, please know, you don't have to be the perfect patient." The list, pinned forever. Katie pinned a video on her social media titled "Things Not to Say to Someone with Cancer and What to Say Instead." It was her manifesto. Don't say, "You're so strong. At least it's not worse. Everything happens for a reason. Have you tried underscore, 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 underscore? You don't look sick. Stay positive." Instead, say, "I'm so sorry, I'm here. That sounds really hard. Can I do anything?" You don't have to talk if you don't want to. "What's the best way I can support you right now?" The list went viral. Celebrities shared it. Survivors quoted it. Doctors printed it in waiting rooms. Katie had gone from a reality TV contestant to a reality advocate. The next chapter. Katie's prognosis was good. The treatments had worked. But the emotional aftermath, the mental, spiritual, and social toll would linger. Still, she felt lighter, clearer. She'd used her voice not just to survive, but to change things. In one final post, she sat in her backyard, sun warming her bald scalp, her dog curled at her feet. "I'll never be the same," she wrote, "but maybe I wasn't meant to be." Her story wasn't about cancer. It was about courage. And every word she shared helped someone else find theirs.